In the boundless void between stars, Voyager 1 drifts alone, silent, ancient, and yet undeniably alive. For more than 4 decades, this resilient spacecraft has journeyed farther than any human-made object in history. Originally sent to observe the outer planets, it has long outlived its initial mission, continuing to report back from the depths of interstellar space. But just when scientists believed they fully understood its path, its condition, and its inevitable silence, Voyager 1 sent back a signal. Not just a routine transmission, but something that shook NASA's most experienced experts. It was strange, out of place, and deeply unexplainable. What could possibly lie in the cold dark beyond the heliopause? Could this be a glitch, a mundane malfunction? Or is it something far more profound? The message Voyager 1 delivered might just challenge everything we thought we knew about the universe. Voyager 1 launched in 1977, built for a mission that by today's standards would seem humble. Its goal was to explore Jupiter and Saturn, return a collection of images and data, and eventually drift silently into space. But it defied all expectations. With its 3.7-meter radio antenna and a power source fueled by plutonium, it endured. And it kept going. Long after it passed the gas giants, it continued sending back information, faint signals, but steady ones. Now over 22 billion kilometers from Earth, Voyager 1 is further from home than any machine ever built. Despite the unimaginable distance, it still whispers to us from the void, like a messenger from a forgotten frontier. But nothing could have prepared scientists for what it sent in May of last year. At NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, engineers monitoring Voyager's health noticed something odd. The Attitude Articulation and Control System, ACS, the system responsible for keeping the spacecraft's antenna aimed precisely at Earth, began returning scrambled, meaningless data. This wasn't a typical system hiccup. It was beyond comprehension. The data seemed to be coming from a part of the spacecraft's computer systems that had been considered dead for years. And yet, despite the confusion, Voyager 1 continued to behave normally. The signal strength was strong. Its instruments were functioning. Scientific data flowed in without issue. It was as though the spacecraft had suffered a brain injury, but continued speaking clearly through an unexpected channel. The incident raised an urgent question. Was this a simple anomaly, or did it hint at something more significant? Engineers worked with extraordinary care to solve the riddle. They eventually managed to redirect the AACS data through the correct computer systems, ending the garbled transmissions. But one question remained deeply troubling. What caused it in the first place? No commands had been issued to reroute the data. There were no solar storms, no sign of mechanical damage, no indications of a micrometeorite strike. Nothing. And yet, something had changed. Something triggered that shift. Some experts suggested it could have been a bit flip, a random change in a computer memory cell caused by cosmic radiation. Others speculated that internal decay in Voyager's aging systems may have activated a dormant safeguard. But a growing number of scientists are beginning to consider another possibility. That Voyager the 1st may have encountered something out there, something unknown, something unexpected. Although the glitch has been addressed and the spacecraft appears stable for now, the mystery has left many uneasy. How did a dormant computer system suddenly become active? Why didn't any fault protection measures intervene? These questions hint at an even larger mystery. Could this incident have been a response to something external? Something Voyager encountered in the silent reaches beyond the heliosphere? Voyager 1 has crossed into interstellar space, a region filled with raw cosmic radiation, strange magnetic forces, and perhaps unknown phenomena we've never directly studied before. The signal anomaly could suggest that it brushed against an interstellar structure, or perhaps interacted with something entirely outside our current understanding. The original data packet that sparked the confusion has been saved and is still under analysis. Early findings reveal fluctuations that don't correspond to any known natural processes. Whatever happened to Voyager 1 out there might have been a one-time event. Or it could be the first sign of a deeper, more complex reality that humanity has only just begun to glimpse. One thing is clear. Even after all these years, Voyager is still teaching us, still pushing the boundaries of what we know. And perhaps, in its silence, it's telling us that something else is out there. Waiting. Watching. Or simply existing beyond the edge of everything. Weeks after the initial malfunction that had baffled engineers and sent ripples through NASA's deep space communication teams, Voyager 1 began transmitting a new stream of data from its plasma wave instrument. At first, it appeared routine, harmless and uneventful. But then analysts detected something peculiar. A pulse. Brief, rhythmic, and unlike anything they'd seen before. It came once. Then again. And then, nothing. Like the fading echo of a heartbeat in the dark. Scientists did what they always do. They searched for patterns, matched it against known solar events, cross-checked for interference from cosmic rays, and sifted through countless sources that might explain the anomaly. But nothing fit. The pulse wasn't noise. It was too precise. Too deliberate. And when they tried to backtrack through the raw telemetry, the pulse had vanished. There was no digital trace. It was as if it had never existed. Some began calling it a phantom event. Something that had appeared, been perceived, and then erased itself without a trace, but still felt undeniably real. In response, teams began combing obsessively through every bit of data Voyager 1 had sent since the glitch. Not just the primary science transmissions, but every piece of static, every electromagnetic fluctuation, every faint hum in the background. That's when they found it, something hidden, buried deep within the carrier wave. Tiny patterns. Harmonics. Repeating rhythms too ordered to be random, yet so faint they had eluded detection. It was subtle, almost like a whisper within the signal. But unmistakable once noticed. One engineer, who had been with the Voyager program since its early years, reportedly likened it to a knocking, faint, deliberate, from the other side of a wall no one knew existed. Artificial intelligence systems trained to recognize linguistic and structural patterns were brought in. When the signal fragments were fed through the models, the results were unsettling. The systems didn't see noise. They saw syntax. Structure. Like someone, or something, had composed a message in a form we weren't yet able to fully decode. For years, Voyager's golden record stood as humanity's message to the stars, a snapshot of life on Earth, a declaration of our presence, our desire to connect. But no one had seriously expected a reply. And yet now, with these strange patterns and the pulse that came and went like a dream, some began to wonder if the universe had finally whispered back. But not in a form we expected. Not with radio beacons or flashing lights in the sky. Instead, through a malfunction. A shadow. A breath in the machine. This didn't fit any existing model of contact. NASA's protocols for alien communication, mostly theoretical, focus on mathematical constants, binary primes, or distinct electromagnetic signatures, signals that shout, not ones that hide. What Voyager 1 had triggered was something far less clear. If it was contact, it wasn't a greeting. It was a nudge. A presence brushing against the boundary of what we understand. The deeper question now facing mission scientists isn't what went wrong with Voyager, it's what changed. Was the anomaly an error? Or was it a response? And if so, a response to what? Voyager is no longer within the protective bubble of our solar system. It's out in the open now, drifting through the unfiltered interstellar medium, exposed to forces and phenomena we've never studied up close. Could it have brushed against a structure? An intelligent signature? An unknown field of influence? Whatever the source, the silence that followed has been even more haunting. The pulses have stopped. The data has normalized. Voyager continues its journey as if nothing happened. But many now believe that silence isn't peace, it's part of the message. One physicist compared it to a scream that ends too suddenly, leaving only the weight of what was felt behind. Maybe the silence is the reply. Or maybe it's the pause before something more. Now, scientists and engineers wait. Wait for another pulse. Another anomaly. Another glimpse beyond the veil. Because something happened out there, something no one expected. A spacecraft older than many of the people studying it, launched in an era before the internet even existed, just might have stumbled upon something we've been searching for all along. Not a discovery we could see or measure in traditional terms, but a moment. A subtle, inexplicable shift that may mean we are not alone. If this truly was a first contact, it didn't come with fanfare or clarity. It came as a glitch. A whisper. A change in behavior that defies logic but demands attention. And now we face the possibility that Voyager 1 was not just a messenger of Earth's past, but the witness to our first cosmic encounter. The first thread in a dialogue we may only just be beginning to hear. Because if something is out there, and it has chosen to speak, then the real question is, what happens when it decides to speak again, and louder?